Welcome back as it's mock draft season, and I'm back with you today with another mock draft, but this one will have a little twist in it, and I'll get to that in a sec. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Now, I construct this mock draft today with the sole purpose of pissing you off. I'm going to make a lot of picks that maybe I don't agree with or I just outright hate, but I'm going to act and portray as if they are good picks. Now, I'm going to try to keep them within the realm of possibility because it's a lot scarier if it could happen. So from this point forward, let's do it. All right, starting with the Chicago Bears. We're actually going to do a trade here, only trade in the mock draft. We're going to go ahead and do that Indianapolis Colts trade where they'll move up to select their quarterback of the future. And we'll give the swap first, throw in a third, give them another first. They say it's about right, so let's go ahead with that. And now the Indianapolis Colts are picking first. They move up to get their quarterback. If I know anything about Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard, they love guys with tools. They love toolsy quarterbacks. So we're going to go ahead and select the toolsiest of the bunch. Not the most toolsiest, but a guy that comes from an NFL-style offense the last 2 seasons in Will Levis. There we go. Good pick there by the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Houston Texans, they could be sitting here and be like, okay, well, lucky for us, Bryce Young filled us right on the board. But DeMeco Ryans, defensive-minded coach, maybe he goes the way of defense, and maybe we could get perhaps an Anthony Richardson at pick 12. So we're going to go ahead and juice up the defense with Jalen Carter. Arizona Cardinals, even if it falls this way for them, hey, they get the best of both worlds. You know, they essentially, hey, we're going to get Jalen Carter, we're going to get Will Anderson. Even if we don't get to pick between the two, whoever drops to us is going to be fabulous. So we're going to go ahead and pick Will Anderson for him. Now, obviously, the Chicago Bears make that trade to the Colts, hoping that either Will Anderson or Jalen Carter fall to them at pick 4. In this case, it did not happen. So what do they do from here? I think they get Justin Fields some help, but in the way of offensive linemen, because that's where the better value is. Let's go ahead. Let's sure up the other tackle spot. We already got bright young upcomer Braxton Jones. So let's go ahead with Paris Johnson here. The Seattle Seahawks. Now, there could be quite a few ways we could go here. We could talk about corner, because, you know, corner is such a volatile position. So getting competition, depth, and talent is always key. You could go with a Myles Murphy or Tyree Wilson, help out the pass rush. But I say, hey, when was this team a Super Bowl caliber team? When they had an undersized quarterback, and we have an undersized quarterback staring us right down in the face. Essentially, we have another first-round pick. We could address the defense there. So let's go ahead, take our quarterback of the future because, well, sure, we could franchise Geno or even sign him to maybe like a 3-year deal. But I think the idea is Geno, even if he comes back, he's only there probably for a year. Let's get younger at the position. Let's get Bryce Young. Now, you could apply the same logic to the Detroit Lions here, where it's like, okay, we could go corner because their cornerback group definitely needs more talent, needs an infusion of talent. We could talk about the defensive line, but again, they have another pick in the first round. Why not take a swing on a quarterback? Doesn't mean you give up on Jared Goff. Jared Goff, hey, he's going to be fine. He's your quarterback next year. Let's go ahead and develop someone with extremely great tools in Anthony Richardson, who needs a year of, well, develop anyway. So, Jared Goff, you are the quarterback for now, but our future is Anthony Richardson, and hopefully we could address the defense with pick, I think they're 18 or something. All right, we're here with the Las Vegas Raiders, and oh man, CJ Stroud could be it, but I really think he's gonna that McDaniels is gonna bring in someone who he's familiar with, maybe a Jacoby Brissett or a Jimmy G to give that offensive stabilization. What's not stable currently is that offensive line, and you could get such a versatile player in Peter Skoronski, who could end up being your right tackle or play one of the guard positions. Just get in more depth to that line, especially when you bring back Josh Jacobs. Would do so much work. So we're going to go ahead with Peter Skoronski. The Atlanta Falcons, Desmond Ridder. He was just a third-round pick. Do you really expect a lot out of him? You didn't invest much in him anyway, so let's go ahead and grab the better quarterback, one who I would say is better than Desmond Ridder and CJ Stroud. We are fortunate that he is here. Let's actually add some juice to our offense that already has a banger run game, and let's make the passing game just as threatening. We're going to go with CJ Stroud. Carolina Panthers, big bummer that no quarterback is here available on the board, but you know what? They're probably going to bring in Derek Carr anyway, and that's going to solve their problems regardless. So, you know what's going to help out Derek Carr? A mean run game. They lose Dante Foreman in the offseason, and the running back, Bijan Robinson, is the best run back we have seen since Saquon Barkley, and that has only added to wins for the Giants. I promise. So we're going to go ahead with Bijan Robinson there. He's going to kind of be Frank Reich's Jonathan Taylor, so to speak. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, fortunately, the board felt like this for us because I know the Eagles, they love the trenches. They love having a nice deep rotation on the offensive line. So we're just going to go ahead with a freak in the form of Tyree Wilson. He's got an insane wingspan. Bit unpolished as a pass rusher, but you got time to develop him, even if you like bring back like a Brandon Graham, nice savvy vet. So Derrick Henry is the engine to this offense, but maybe they don't like Broderick Jones, or maybe they feel like they can add talent via free agency or day two. Instead, what is this offense missing? Receivers that can separate. So let's get the fastest, the best separator in this class in Jalen Hyatt to pair up with Treylon Burks. There we go. Almost forgot his name. Shoot. All right, we got the Houston Texans, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping Jalen Hyatt would be here, but it kind of is what it is. Maybe I was wishing a quarterback was still here, but that ship long sailed. So you know what? Let's go ahead, keep addressing the defense, and you know what's a big, important part of a DeMeco Ryans defense? It's the linebacker position, and Drew Sanders has all the tools, all the length that DeMeco Ryans would absolutely love. A guy that can go sideline to sideline and clog passing lanes. With that length, he has a great pass rush and upside. So that defense already looking stupid good with Jalen Carter and Drew Sanders. All right, on to the New York Football Jets, and I actually really like this pick personally. Grabbing a Brian Branch, who immediately fills in for a LaMarcus Joyner. Joyner was playing both slot and deep safety, so Brian Branch could functionally do the same thing. So we're going to grab him here. The New England Patriots, Jonathan Jones is a free agent, so corner has yet to come off the board. Let's go ahead and grab Christian Gonzalez, a nice press guy who's going to test out like a monster. The Green Bay Packers. Well, Rashawn Gary's contract comes up soon. I imagine they want to keep him for the long term. I know that they extended Preston Smith, but I think that was really more so a way to where they could eat less cap when they cut him in the future. So grab him more pass rush, especially when Gary went down. The pass rush wasn't nearly as dominant. So I want to grab a nice versatile body in a hot riser here in Lucas Van Ness, man. Expect that guy to go in the top 20. So it would be easy to go corner here, but Ron Rivera doesn't believe in taking corner in the first round. Shame on you for thinking so. We could go with offensive line, but you know what? I think even better for Sam Howell is to have a nice blanket underneath. This is a great tight end class with a lot of talent. So let's grab the guy who's probably going to test out the best among any of the tight ends. He had a strong Senior Bowl in Luke Musgrave. There we go. For some people, he is the top tight end in this class, and I'm sure Sam Howell will be thanking you later. All right, we're on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I noticed something in Mobile about Mike Tomlin as he was eyeing up the offensive line. Those one-on-one battles, he was licking his chops like, I could use a tackle like that. So we're going to go ahead and grab him a tackle. One of the guys that he really liked was Darnell Wright. So we're going to snag Darnell Wright there for the Steelers. And you know what? Cool. Things worked out for the Detroit Lions as we can go on and grab that corner position we needed. The corners just fell in this draft. I don't know how that happened, but we're going to grab Devon Witherspoon. I think he's going to be a good fit for Aaron Glenn's defense. The Tampa Bay Buccaroos. Man, Tom Brady, he is gone, but I'm sure things will go well with Kyle Trask. Now, we could go corner here, as obviously two of their biggest free agents are corners in Jameel Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting. But that, I almost choked. Much like the Bucs pass rush did after Shaq Barrett went down. So let's go ahead and add more pass rush. And a guy that's getting slept on because he is hurt, he's not going to be able to participate in the offseason draft process, is Nolan Smith. But he's a former 5-star, bit undersized, but he defends the run exceptionally well. Had a 25% pass rush win rate this past season. So I think the Bucs would love to get their hands on a guy that is that disruptive. We're going to go with him here. The Seattle Seahawks. We could look defense here. We got some good picks here at defense with like a Myles Murphy, Joey Porter. But you know what? We got our young quarterback of the future. Let's get him more weapons. More weapons for our freaking quarterback. And I want to do... can you imagine Jordan Addison with the likes of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, and then... eventually, when you move on from Lockett, basically you got Lockett 2.0 with Jordan Addison. So we're going to go ahead, do that here, and yeah, we can address the defense on day 2. Who cares? All right, we got the San Diego. No, they're in Los Angeles now. I couldn't tell. I'm sorry. But we got the Chargers, the Superchargers, and I would have loved Jordan Addison here, but you know, Kellen Moore loves tight ends. Let's go ahead and grab Michael Mayer. He's the top tight end for some people, so let's go ahead and snag him here. He adds to the run game, and he adds a nice, reliable pass catcher for Justin Herbert. So things just kind of worked out here for the Ravens, who need receiving help, and we'll give them a nice vertical receiver, but a guy that can also be a possession guy underneath and create after the catch because he's got such a large body in Quentin Johnston. Man, him falling out of the top 20, that's nuts. That's crazy. I can't see that happening in real life. All right, we got the Minnesota Vikings, and they need cornerback help. They desperately need more talent at corner. And I'm like looking at some of the corners here, and it's like, will they really maybe fit like Brian Flores' scheme? Like, let's go ahead and take a look. Like a Joey Porter, I mean, I don't think you want him playing a lot of press man. Like Cam Smith, there's questions about his athleticism. Keely Ringo, dude was getting toasted all year. How about we go with Deonte Banks, man? This guy's a hot riser right now for a lot of people. Fluid player, played a lot of press this past season, showed off some nice ball skills as well, taking cues from the receivers. We're going to grab Deonte Banks. Could go higher. He's gone higher in other mocks. The Jacksonville Jaguars, listen, tackle could be a concern in the future. Cam Robinson is back. Jawan Taylor's gone, though, so hopefully Walker Little, he showed a little bit this year. So if things go south with either of those guys, you're going to want someone to come in and be a legit starter. But even you could move one of those guys to guard. Guard was like kind of bad this year for the Jags. And Cam Robinson I don't see as a long-term option, but I definitely see Broderick frickin' Jones, who is an exceptional value at this point in the draft. All right, so New York Giants. I would love receiver here, but like Addison's off the board, Johnson's off the board, Jackson Smith and Jig, but that's just another slot guy, man. I think the Giants are done with getting slot guys. Say Flowers, he's a bit undersized, but he's got speed. You love that speed, but you know what? You know what? Day 2 is going to have some good receivers. Let's just wait till then. If anything, let's go ahead and snag Osiris Torrance, man. I love Torrance. And the interior of the Giants' offensive line was poo-poo. Let's give freaking DJ some protection, and let's give Saquon some running room. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, man. They must be looking at the chops. Dan Quinn's like, man, Joey Porter next to freaking Trevon Diggs, that just sounds sexy, and you know why it does? Because it is. We're going to go ahead and snag him there for the Cowboys. All right, the Buffalo Bills, man. We could go safety, Anton Harrison, Trenton Simpson, since Tremaine Edmonds is a free agent. But Gabe Davis didn't really prove to be that consistent vertical threat. You know, he was kind of like touch and go this whole year. So let's go ahead and grab another vertical threat in Zay Flowers, man. See if he can emerge, or just keep adding weapons there for Josh Allen. We could go offensive interior here, but I feel better about doing that maybe on day 2. So let's go ahead and grab Zay Flowers and hope he doesn't end up like hot and cold Gabe Davis, Mr. J.R. Smith himself. All right, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. We could go offensive line, but who cares? Who cares about offensive line? Maybe they pull something off in free agency. How about instead we just go with prospects that are falling on the board and take the best talent available? Brian Brazee being available here is incredible talent, and he could basically operate in that Zach Carter role, who he wasn't that good as a rookie, and I kind of expected more from him, but Brian Brazee obviously is going to test out way better, so you're already upgrading the position, a position that you actually used quite frequently last season. All right, we have the New Orleans Saints, and you know what, man? They couldn't get pass rush worth nothing. Myles Murphy being here, man, he's starting to go lower and lower on people's boards. That's nuts. That's crazy. And him to be here at 29 is just an absolute steal. So grab that pass rush in the form of Myles Murphy. Now, man, what can we do here for the Eagles? I think likely they trade. I think they're only going to have one first-round pick this year because they trade out maybe for an expiring contract they look to extend like they did with an A.J. Brown last year. Or maybe just grab more picks. Regardless, we're still picking here for them. Let's go ahead and let's get more firepower. I like the idea of firepower on this offense. I want to go with Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think that sounds really, really sexy. Can you imagine? You got thin Batman, you got buff Batman, you got fast Batman. I mean, I think he's a good wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. He's all right. But now you have Jackson Smith-Njigba. You have slot Batman. I love it. I love it. Just more weapons. Keep adding. All right, we have the Kansas City Chiefs here, picking at 31 because they won the Super Bowl. Good job on the Chiefs. Pass rush. Frank Clark could be, I think, a cap casualty this year, or maybe his contract's up. I can't recall. Regardless, I think grabbing more offensive line talent would be nice. And a guy that got a lot of hype after the Senior Bowl was Keon White, man. He's so much so he's getting some top 10, top 15 love. I'm not necessarily there on him, but I totally think he could go in the back end of the first round here. Dude's got insane tools. Good athlete. Just needs a little bit more polish. This is basically Frank Clark 2.0. All right, and then because this draft simulator has to go 32 picks, we're going to start with the second round, first pick there, then the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you know what? Devin Bush, he's a free agent, right? He is. So Steelers go ahead and grab Trenton Simpson. This is what they wish Devin Bush was. Get that guy that's so good out in space. You can occasionally use him as a blitzer. I feel like Bush was probably a better blitzer, just not really utilized a ton in that regard. But Simpson is the guy that they want for that role. So we're gonna go ahead and snag that right there, and that is our mock draft. Ooh, I think we did a freaking good job of this. Tell me you couldn't see this happening. Isn't that the scary thing, that it could happen? But yeah, I'm sure some of y'all will disagree with it. Unfortunately, if that's the case, I just think you're wrong. These are all great, wonderful picks. Not one wrong pick among the batch. All of them have logic behind them, and yeah, this is objectively the best draft I have ever seen. I don't know why you would go elsewhere for mock drafts, but that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing, and as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later. Oh gosh.